It's been a busy day, so again, just going to record on the phone. I got a lot of things I got to do, got a lot of places I got to be right now. But Jevon Holland signed with the Giants, 3 years, $47 million, something like that. Dolphins in need of another safety. They did sign the safety from the Lions. I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I don't really know much about him, so not going to bother making a video on that. But Jevon Holland, my favorite player on the team in the last few years. Really one of the hearts and soul alongside of Christian Wilkins. You know, you see his personality both on and off the field, and we did see some of that drop this year. And we also saw his ability on the field drop this year. He probably had his worst season in a Dolphins uniform this season, as a defense in general was really bad, and he was a part of that. Definitely didn't have his best season, which was probably one of the contributing factors to why he didn't end up getting an extension. I had a bit of an inside source of somebody that I know that works with him, basically telling me that he has been unhappy with the Dolphins over the last year or so, and that he told me back in, I think, December, that was probably most likely that he was going to be leaving the Dolphins to pursue another team. Part of that reasoning being the Dolphins did not hold up their end of the bargain, and they said they were going to open up negotiations for a contract extension. They told him that in the offseason, and then the negotiations never came. Dolphins said, hey, look, we're going to talk. They didn't even talk. So he walks away without even an offer on the board from the Dolphins. And just another example of poor management, poor player development management from the Dolphins. Another top 3 round pick that you see walk and is going to play the prime of his career on another team. Last year, Christian Wilkins, Robert Hunt, Brandon Jones, all selected in the first 3 rounds. I'm pretty sure Brandon Jones was. All selected in the first 3 rounds. All went on. Outside of Christian Wilkins, and we can assume that he would have had a good season had he stayed healthy in Vegas. All 3 of them had good seasons for their teams. Again, Wilkins, if he was healthy, would have. And then Jevon Holland, I expect him to follow the same story. He's probably going on to the Giants, be a really good starting safety for them for a few years, and then hopefully for his sake, get a bigger extension after that. He's somebody that I don't typically look at ex-Dolphins players and really root them on. I don't particularly care too much. I don't get really emotionally invested to players on the Dolphins to that much of an extent that I root for them really heavily once they go on to other teams. But Jevon Holland is going to be probably something that's a little bit different. As like I said, he has been my favorite player on the team over Tua, over Tyreek Hill, over some of the other better players that we have. I've really enjoyed his ability to stay really down to earth. You know, if he has his regular Instagram page, but he also has a kind of, I guess you want to call it a Finsta, where he posts a lot more just personality side, and you see who he is as a person. And he's somebody that he doesn't seem like a celebrity. He seems like somebody that you could easily walk up to and have a good conversation with. He's somebody who's very creative and has that sort of thing still going on while being an athlete. And seeing his ability to separate who he is on the field from who he is off the field, and actually not necessarily separate, but also bring those together with personality that you see on the field, is a really refreshing thing to see from these guys that are making millions of dollars and playing professional football. The fame that comes with that. Somebody who seemed like a really down-to-earth guy as well as a really talented guy for this Dolphins team. It's very disappointing. It's very disappointing to see him walk just another piece. So many guys now that the Dolphins have chose to bring in, the likes of Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Ramsey. They get those big contracts, and then the guys you end up drafting, developing, they walk, and they end up probably having really good seasons with other teams. That's not a good way to run a team. That's not an efficient way to run a team. If you spend all that time with the draft picks that you are given and you develop them into pretty good players, you expect for them to be there for 6, 7, 8, 9, even upwards of 10 years if their health holds together, if their talent level holds together. But instead, those years when they're 27, 28, 29, their best years, where they've really grown into their bodies, they've grown into their playing style, they know what they are, teams know what the players are, you know what you're getting from a player at that point in their career. Those years now being spent on other teams is not an effective way to run an organization. Talented players that you had a major part of bringing them to where they are in their careers, having a big hand in their development, seeing them do that for other teams, that's just, you can't sustain success. And it's just such a Dolphins thing to do, to go out and trade for Bradley Chubb, who had one really good season, had one double-digit sack season. You bring him in, you give up a first-round pick, you give him so much money, and then he just, I don't want to say necessarily flops, but he's certainly not worth what we gave up for him, and he's certainly not worth the contract he is getting. This one's going to hurt. You know, he was immediately replaced, or maybe even replaced before he's actually officially signed with the Giants. But the Giants are getting a good one. It's really disappointing to see him go. He's going to be a bright star on probably otherwise a bad Giants team, but they have moves they're going to have to make, and they need to make them. They need to save their jobs over there, and he's going to be a good piece of that. I'm very disappointed. I saw it coming. I pretty much knew without a doubt it was going to happen, but it doesn't make it any less disappointing when it happens. So let me know your thoughts about Jevon Holland going. Hopefully we see some more signs. We just missed out on Nick Bosa, or Joey Bosa rather. We made a video last night, 50-50 chance. It was, well, the 50% chance that he wasn't going to comes to fruition. It's the 49ers. And how can you really say no to a team that has made the Super Bowl so many times, made the Super Bowl twice in the last 5-6 years, continuously makes the NFC Championship game, had a bad season last year, but they're finding a way to retool that roster, and then you get to go play with your brother. So staying on the West Coast as well. So yeah, that sucks. Don't see a lot of big moves. Was surprised to see some of the moves we did make yesterday. Getting 2 offensive linemen in, I thought that was really good, but I don't expect a whole lot from here on out. So Jevon Holland gone. Very disappointed. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll catch y'all next time. Have a good rest of the day. Go Dolphins.